หมายเลข 44 ปีเตอร์ซูดหมายเลข 55 ควอนฟอนเดสบรองโกหัวหน้าผู้ฝึกสอนมาร์คแจ็คสันจากประเทศอังกฤษผู้เล่นสำรองหมายเลข 2 สัสลักษ์ ไหประโคนหมายเลข 3 พันษา เหมวิบูลย์หมายเลข 8 รัตนากร ไมคามิ
Championship. Both would be expected to go on to the final stages, but are trailing in the lower reaches of the 6-team league. It's a coolish evening, 26 degrees, humidity 60%, so not too awful for the players. As we have a look at the group standings, 3 matches taking place tonight. We'll keep an eye on those. Look at that, Buriram without a win so far. A home draw against Selangor and an away draw against BG Pathum United. Hanoi with 1 win and 1 defeat. A Chanatip-inspired loss to BG Pathum United, who really are proving to be the party poopers as far as these 2 teams are concerned. Pitch looking absolutely wonderful. The venue, as always in Buriram, has been very welcoming. And this competition, well, since its rebirth yesterday, last season, sorry, is growing in reputation, largely I think down to the final that we had that went to a penalty shootout where Buriram's Chachai Putram was the star man. He made 3 saves. Was also a wonder late equaliser from the now departed Lucas Crispin that took us to that penalty shootout. It really was thrilling stuff. That was though in May, and since then new seasons have started. New coach as far as Buriram are concerned. They have got Mark Jackson, the Englishman, in position now. They are top of the league. They're through to the second round of the Thailand FA Cup following a 12-0 first round victory. And they've also got a big AFC Champions League, a league clash coming up next week at the Thunder Castle. So it's an important spell for Buriram. Similarly for Kangan Hanoi. They are second in their league, but unbeaten and with games in hand on the league leaders. They've qualified from AFC Champions League 2 with a game to play against Tai Po, but they were eliminated from the Vietnamese Cup in a thrilling penalty shootout again. What is it with Kangan Hanoi and penalty shootouts? They just can't seem to buy a win on those big occasions, beaten by Vittel in the round of 16. But these are 2 clubs relatively new on the scene. Well, for Buriram it's a decade plus at the top level. For Kangan Hanoi, well, since their promotion in 2022, they took over a previous club. They've made a lot of signings, and since then it has been non-stop success. They won the Super Cup earlier this year. For a first domestic trophy for Manu Polking who of course knows all about Buriram, having spent a lot of his career in Thailand. Teams have just finished their pre-match warm-up. We'll give you some inside shots and some pre-match interviews as well. And I'll join you close to kick-off for this ASEAN Club Championship group match of real importance to both of these clubs if they do indeed want to make it into the top two of the standings. Buriram versus Kongan Hanoi coming up very soon.
Are you good? Good. Yeah. Let's come back. Wow. Okay, very good. Game call. I got to give it. I
What do you think of the Công An Hanoi team format today?
Yeah, listen, they're a good team. They're a good team, of course. They've got good players and a good way of playing. We've had some big games against them last season, so we know what they're about. But like always, we want to control what we do. We want to play how we want to play and influence the game from our point of view. So we know they're a tough opponent, but we'll be ready.
Okay, and do you think playing at home will influence the result?
It helps the result, of course. Playing at our home stadium with our fans supporting us, like always helps our performance, of course. It's helped us because we don't have to travel, and we've had a lot of games in a short space of time, so the physicality of the game will help as well, but for sure our fans will help us tonight. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Thank you.
What do you think of the Buriram United team format today?
Yeah, we know Buriram is a very big team, especially here in this region. They have a lot of good players. They have fantastic infrastructure, facilities, fans. We expect a very tough and very difficult game, but I believe that we are ready for that.
And are you worried about facing Buriram United today?
I'm not worried. We respect them a lot. We like this kind of games. I think last season we already showed that we can compete at the same level, and I hope that the fans will see a very good match. Welcome. Bye-bye.
A very warm welcome to Buriram for our coverage of the ASEAN Club Championship. This is a contest between the defending champions Buriram United of Thailand and the team they beat in a thrilling final at this very venue in May of last year, Công, Hanoi from Vietnam. Neither team has started this season's competition particularly impressively. In fact, neither are in the top two in the standings. And so it means that for the little knot of fans who've made the journey from Vietnam, they'll be hoping that Quang Hai and Co are able to go one better than last season's heartbreak of that penalty shootout defeat. As for Buriram, well, they are riding high as usual at the top of the Thai League One. But they've got a tough match next week in the AFC Champions League Elite. This is a busy spell for both of these clubs, two of the top clubs in certainly Southeast Asia and in the ASEAN region. Victory for either one here could take them a long way to a repeat of last year's final. Defeat in such a competitive environment could be very, very difficult. Starting lineups for you. For Buriram United, the penalty shootout king of last season, Chachai Bujram, remains as the starting goalkeeper in this competition. We welcome Wanabitha at centre-back alongside Kenny Dougal and Curtis Good. And also look out for Supanapuenta, who will be up front alongside the Austrian pairing of these old boys. As for the starting 11 for Công and Hanoi, a very warm welcome back to Van Hau. John Van Hau, the international, making his first start of the season. He will come in at left-back. We're anticipating a 4-3-3 formation for Manu Polking's side. Two players who've really shone on the ASEAN stage, both domestically and internationally, are leading the line. On the substitutes bench, well, it's a short bench for Buriram and it's an all-local bench. Công and Hanoi can call on Jason Pendant, the number 7, who scored the winner in their narrow victory over Cebu on the last match day of the ASEAN Cup, which was a couple of months ago. Referee is Koke Nagamine from Japan. His assistants from Japan, Malaysia. The fourth official, Izul Faisal, also from Malaysia. And we do have VAR here. And in VAR, we have got from China, Jin Jingguan. The first assistant video ref is from Korea, Lee Seol-ji. So VAR in operation for this Shopee Cup. Mark Jackson is a relatively recent arrival for Buriram, certainly from the last time they played here in the ASEAN Cup. And his opposing number, Manu Polking, is well known, of course. Before the start of this match, there is going to be a minute's silence as we look at Manu Polking. This is in honour of the recent death of the Queen Mother, Queen Siddhikat. There is a year's mourning in Thailand, and there will be a minute's silence before all ASEAN matches, all domestic matches in Thailand for the Queen Mother. Really looking forward to this one. Two very, very strong sides. Buriram United, 2 draws in their games, including a 1-1 draw against Selangor last time out, where they needed a late Peter Zul's equaliser to deny Selangor but they are the defending champions, and they certainly know how to win, as Philip Nguyen, the Czech-born Vietnamese international, says thank you to the 20 or so Hanoi fans who've made the journey. But he'll be challenged by the likes of Supernat Nguyen. So there's last season's penalty shootout hero, Chachai. And he will be up against a fine striker in Alan Raficha. The Brazilian scored 10 goals in 15 matches this season. ASEAN Club Championship, Shopee Cup, group match. Công An Hanoi from Vietnam versus the defending champions of this competition, Buriram in the blue. Very often the Hanoi team, they play three at the back, but I reckon Manu Polking, knowing as he does Buriram so well, he might just offer a bit of variety today. Down this left-hand side is the man who glories in the nickname of China, Rogerio Alves. Big, strong, 6'2" winger who's got pace to burn. This is another relatively recent signing, Juan Ibiza Blanco, the Spaniard. He's starting on the right side of a back three for Buriram, with Kenny Dougal in the middle. There is Dougal trying to get the challenge in. A little bit scrappy on the back of Alan, who scored a dramatic late extra time equaliser to send the final in May to the penalty shootout. Harubardin down the line was looking for Robert Zulj. Supernat will chase into the corner, and a little push by Supernat on the back of Legliadou. Not an awful lot on that from Supernat, but Adu went down. Rogerio again wanting a foul that's not coming his way. Japanese referee not remotely interested in that. Manu Polking knows all about Buriram. They were such a thorn in his side. Games ongoing tonight in this group in the ASEAN Club Championship. I mentioned Pathum United have drawn against Buriram and beaten Công An Hanoi. Well, they're 2-0 up at the moment against Tampines Rovers in Singapore. Cebu versus Selangor, 0-0 at half-time. There's Tiraton. Lays it out wide. That's an awful lot there of Curtis Good. Australian under pressure. Quang Hai thrown goal! Chachai. Big save, early chance for Nguyen Quang Hai. Gosh, if there's one Vietnamese player you want in that situation, it's Quang Hai. 77 international caps for him. Maybe not as prolific a goal scorer as you'd like, but wonderful creator, and that's a big chance. Chachai, who only really plays in this ASEAN Club Cup, this Shopee Cup. Doesn't get the starts in the league games or the AFC Champions League Elite. That's Neil Etheridge, the Filipino international, who gets those starts. Played down the line. This is Leo Arto, one of a trio of Brazilians. Long ball played out wide to Levando. Levando can only find Zulj in the heart of midfield. To Zulj, Peter Zulj. Dougal finds Chachai. Flick on by Robert Zulj. There's Stefan Mauk, Australian under-23 international, on loan from Adelaide, as that's played in out wide by Levando. quite aggressive lineup from Kongan Hanoi. They're playing with Rogerio Alves almost as a left wing back. They do like the three at the back, and they're matching as Alan loses out. Peter Zol plays it forward, but it's picked up. This is the hard-working Lafam Tan Long. Looks for Alan Grafisha. And by far the busier goalkeeper in this opening 5 minutes is Chachai. Nice little turn, gets the better of Kenny Dougal. Comfortable for the keeper, but an opportunity. Good loses out. Supernat, nice little touch. Zul looks around the outside for Supernat. That's Duan Van Hau. First start of the season for an experienced international. Van Hau's carried on a run forward here. Leo Arter looks out wide. Rogerio. Van Hau, Rogerio, that's a nice combination. Played towards the back post where Grafice wasn't waiting, and that's good aggression coming from Filip Stojkovic. Another relatively recent signing, Stojkovic from the last club in Austria. Brazilian Manu Polking in a familiar squatting pose. Hugo Gomez. Philippe Nyan. Philippe's got to be careful. He's made a couple of mistakes of playing the ball out from the back, particularly a couple of AFC Champions League 2 matches against Beijing. Cost them goals on both occasions, did the goalkeeper. Here's Kenny Dougal. Chachai, 38 years of age now, but keeps himself fit and is a good backup to Neil Etheridge. Slides that ball into Zul. The two Zuls combine, lovely ball over the top, was looking for Stojkovic. Cebu from Philippines have taken the lead against Selangor. As we have a look at the earlier moment, Quang Hai was onside. If he'd have hit the back of the net, that would have counted. Alan with the touch, and Quang Hai, Alan gets over it too well, if that can be a criticism. There he is putting the challenge in. Stefan Moog forcing Stojkovic backwards. Alan Grafice has gone down temporarily. Being tugged back by Kenny Dougal. Good spot by the camera crew. Unseen by referee or the assistant. Ball wasn't in play, so no free kick. And it's still a throw in to Buriram United. Nice running off the ball by Zul once again. Comes out to Narubardin. Curls it in, not the best ball in. Seen out by Van Hau. Here is Alan. Quang Hai spreads it out wide. Levando. Long ball over the top. Ibiza is there. Only finds Rogerio. Leo Arter, off the post and in. Flag stays down, there will be a check. But Kongan Hanoi have got a lead in the 10th minute. And it's a beautifully constructed goal. Leo Arter does well. Oh, he's well onside. Nicely played in by Stefan Moak and just guides the ball in past Chachai. Lovely assist, lovely touch from Stefan Moak. And the beaten finalists last year have the lead against the champions. Leo Arter. First goal of this competition for Leo. It is 7th in all games, though, for Leo Arter. Can't believe they're checking for offside. He's so far onside. Jackson and Co looking a little bit uncomfortable down on the touchline. Well, maybe earlier on in the move, I can only think that there was an offside in the build-up. That's what they're looking for. That's what they're looking for. It's not the pass for the goal. I think earlier on in the move, there was a chance that Leo Arter himself was offside. 3 or 4 passes back. We're not getting to see the replays, but that's all I can think this is for. And now it has been given. The VAR check, a lengthy one, is over. It took us back a few passes. But Kongan Hanoi have a lead against Buriram United. And for the 2nd straight ASEAN Club Championship game, they find themselves trailing at home, Buriram. Leo Arter, super goal. Chachai's already been forced to make a couple of saves, so it's not as though the Vietnamese Super Cup winners don't deserve it. Stojkovic just eased off the ball by Levando. Himself a couple of caps, nice raiding right wing back Levando. He'll be operating as a right back in what looks to be a more regulation 4-3-3 for relatively new kids on the block. An old established club, but reinvigorated. Tiraton sweeps one outside. Again, Stojkovic the target. Stojkovic will just get in there ahead of Van Do. Van Do, free kick goes to the Vietnamese and not to Peter Zul. That's an interesting one. That is an interesting one. If that was in the penalty area, that might go to VAR and get returned. But it's outside the penalty area. Therefore, outside, I believe, VAR's jurisdiction. Interesting start for Koki Nagamine. Free kick to be taken by Hugo Gomez. Drives it flat and Dougal is there. Can't sort his feet out. Manabitha, who came from Vitesse, is one of the 3 centre-back. On the other side, Adu and Gomez are the 2 out-and-out centre-backs. Van Hout joins them to make a 3. Wanabitha. Robert Zul. Great run by Bisoli. This is now Rubardin. Bisoli free in the middle, and a really big stretch there by Hugo Gomez, and it needed to be. Bisoli had just crept in behind him. He does that so well, Guillaume Bisoli. Proper penalty box player, Bisoli. 15 goals in 18 matches in all competitions so far this season for Buriram. 7 in the penalty area. Hanoi with all bar one player back defending. They come short and over the top from Bisoli, having just praised him for his penalty box prowess. That's nicely worked. Plenty of blocking going on there. Bisoli gets away from his man. Now that is a penalty box routine that they have worked on. Well, that's a big chance for Bisoli. One in the air by Curtis Good. Tidaton. Tidaton again. Stojkovic to Robert Zul. Van Hout did well, win it. Not Peter Zul, but Stojkovic is there. Supernat available to his left. Stojkovic carries on. The Montenegrin faced by Stefan Mauk. Couldn't quite wrap his foot around the ball. Another of the LASK contingent. Rogerio. Rubardin just gets the clearance away. When it comes back to Leo Arto, and that dipped right in front of Chachai. Well, it's another big moment for Kongan Hanoi. Just creates the space, the 30-year-old Brazilian. Kai goes down. He's not the kind who generally makes a meal of things, Quang Hai. Although it doesn't look awful there from Tidaton. As his foot is coming down. Tidaton, Bumatan looks on. VIE will have had a look, but I'm pretty sure they will have looked at any intent. That's absolutely accidental, so Tidaton plays it out wide. Good. Bisoli can't quite get the better of Adu. Supernat, Zul. Yeah, and a late challenge comes in. Leo Arta, long ball over the top, looks for Alan. And Alan finds Leo Arta, and Leo Arta, big chance. And again, the flag stayed down. And again, the late running of Leo Arta on this left-hand side has made a real mess of Buriram's back three. Dougal finds to Wanabitha, and Chachai is closed down. Nervy Buriram United. Zul, long ball over the top. Looks for and finds Supernat. Stojkovic. How wide is Narubardin? 3 in the penalty area. Narubardin keeps the ball low when what was really needed was an elevated cross in. Zulfan Stiratom. And Lepam Tanlong. Hard-working midfielder. Well, in his pre-match press conference, Manu Polking was saying that he thinks that his team are ready for this contest. Nothing but admiration for what Buriram have done. But what a good club they are. The Kongan Hanoi are rapidly emerging themselves as a major power broker in ASEAN football. They do have funding, police funding, and they're doing a good job. Shanghai, snapshot from a good 25 metres. But this has been an impressive opening 20 minutes, 21 minutes for the visitors. But remember, in last season's final, they were also 2-0 up as Chachai deliberates and nearly loses out to Quanghai, and then Kenny Dougal shows a bit of calmness, and there's the chip. It just doesn't have enough elevation to get the better of Chachai. That was from Leo Arta. Well, he's scored one. He's had another chance saved by Chachai, who's carried on his heroics from last season's final. Oh dear, this is not good, Hugo Gomez. He's a key part of the police rearguard. So they welcome Van Hal back for a first game of the season after injury. And within 22 minutes, I think they're going to be looking the very, very important central defensive kingpin, Hugo Gomez. They do have centre-back replacements, international centre-back replacements. But there is your leader, and with the physicality and cuteness of Guillaume Bissoli to look after, this could be a significant departure. Doesn't look to be an awful lot in it. He is pulled back and dragged back by Bissoli. Substitution immediately made, and it's going to be Din Trong Tan. Has played at centre-back in a lot of the AFC 2 matches. Also played in the 1-0 victory over Cebu. Tran will just go into the centre-back position. Now I feel it will be a more regulation back three, just that little bit of extra protection. And immediately Rogerio is dropping deep. His Guillaume Bissoli! Surely a tug from Van Hal. Well, the referee said no, but VAR will look at that. That's a needless challenge from John Van Hal. Yeah, the referee is going to get some advice here. He doesn't say it, but There is a tug back. It's a touch on the arm, but it's needless from Duan Van Hau. And he's got such experience as well, it's unnecessary. It gives Bisoli every chance to go down. Oh, but it's been waved away. VAR reckon there wasn't enough in it. And Bisoli has made a meal of it. Big call has gone the way of Hanoi as Stefan Mauk is tugged back on an almost identical scenario to what we just saw in the penalty area. This time the foul is called against Peter Zul. And the yellow card against Bisoli, I can only imagine that that is for complaining. Yeah, Guillaume Bisoli definitely feels hard done by. And what he's saying is that's identical, that foul that you've just given, identical to what just happened to me in the penalty area. Strong challenge between Mauk and Stojkovic. Testing match for Koki Nagamine. Well, Mauk is saying there's a follow-through by the boot of Filip Stojkovic. Well, it's got the crowd going, these incidents. Dougal on to Narubardin. Onside is Zul. Dougal's carried on his run. Bisoli in the penalty area. Well marshalled by Tran. Rogerio Alves trying to pinch, not 5, not 10, but probably 20 metres with that long throw in. Okay, so Hanoi with the lead. But they've been the beneficiaries of a contentious non-decision by VAR, and they've lost their talismanic central defender. And Stefan Mauk goes in. Looked to be a fair enough challenge, and we're just seeing a little bit of gamesmanship here. He gets the ball, but it's a bit physical on Stojkovic. Those two just been involved as Robert Zul finds Narubardin. He is taken out by Rogerio. Peter Zul places the ball. 6 blue shirts in a line, marked by 7 in red. Curtis Good is a giant figure to aim for. He often makes a late run towards the back post. It's a move we see so often. Goes towards that back post, but Philip Nguyen is there. And under pressure, fists it clear, and Tidaton can just guide that one back to Chachai. Zul. Oh, not the best clearance, only finds Supanat. Just tried to play in Bisoli, didn't come off, and Tran can clear. Van Hau can clear. Then looking for Rogerio Alves. Bonabitha for a strangely muted Buriram United. Long ball over the top for Marubardin. Philip is there. Mauk. Nice little turn, combative player. He's just taken out off the ball. Has a look at the referee. There's plenty going on off the field of play. Zul finds Tidaton. This is Robert Zul. He loses possession, then wins it back, then loses out. Two 2-0 victory over Ratchaburi at the weekend, but this is a much changed team from that Thai League team. Buriram, who won 4 trophies, all 3 domestic titles, plus this ASEAN Championship last year, and made it through to the final 8 of the AFC Champions League Elite. Well, there's the not great clearance by Levandau. And the not great communication between Supanat and Guillaume Bissoli. Chan goes long, picks out Quang Hai, Stefan Mauk. Wants the foul, gets the foul. The two Zul boys ganging up. I think it was Peter with the foul, as Robert then just tried to burst clear. Clearly is a foul by the Austrian. Mauk again taken out late. Plus there's plenty going on off the ball. Bissoli goes down, he thought he was taken out. Here's Leo Arta, the goal scorer. Quang Hai, Leo. Breaks the Chachai. Shoppy Cup. No problem for Chachai. Ibiza. Dougal loses out, and the pressing from Hanoi is really causing problems for Chachai and Buriram in general. Tidaton. Supanat will chase. Philip Nyam clearly has learned from those errors against Beijing. Not the best header from Tran. Bissoli. Zul. Double team by Zul. And you can see Quang Hai round the outside, looks for Alan Grafita. And the Brazilian tries to hold on to the ball, and whistle goes against him. That was a good opportunity, had players breaking to his left. Decides to take on Curtis Good and Ibiza. This Shoppy Cup is really good, for the region. So there are slightly tighter restrictions on the number of foreigners who are allowed to play, so more of these standout ASEAN players are playing, but they're playing alongside good players, very often internationals, like Kenny Dougal. Ibiza looks wide to Narubardin, who's the captain today. Zul, lovely cross just above Bissoli. Stojkovic is there though. Tidaton available. And Tidaton Bumaton just eases the ball in, looks for Supanat. Tran is there, Quang Hai clears, only as far as Narubardin. Rogerio, that's a foul by Rogerio. That's 2 or 3 that he's put on Narubardin. Needs to be careful, Rogério Alves. It's a block on the skipper. Again, Peter Zul. 6 blue to aim for. Curtis Good will be one of them. He was coming in at the back post. Belted clear by Van Do. Goals elsewhere. Tampines 1, Pathum United 2. That's in Singapore's Jalan Besar Stadium, which has now got a grass surface, the artificial surface, no longer at Jalan Besar. Cebu 1, Selangor 1. And here, Buriram United 0, Kongan Hanoi 1. Leo Arta, lovely goal in the 10th minute. Ibiza, he's gone into a more central position. Kenny Dougal down the right-hand side. Maybe Dougal has got more chance getting forward. Tiditon loses out to good work from the right backer Van Do. Abu Min strolls over. Van Do looking for movement. Eventually found it with Alam. Throw in once again, similar place. Curtis Good tight on the back of Alan Graficia. Nadu just gets there. Long ball over the top, Philip Nyan. Came a long way, Supernat. Wasn't too far away from getting a touch there, Supernat Puenta. Philip Nyan has to be careful with the 8-second law. Comes out to Van Hau. Ding Chong, long ball down the line. Tiditon hits Stojkovic. Curtis Good is chasing through. Quang Hai just ease it out to this left-hand side where Rogério finds Leo Arta. Rogério carries on his run. Leo Arta. Still Leo Arta. Still Leo Arta. And oh, Rogério Alves, huge moment. But Leo Arta ran and ran and ran. Tackle after tackle. It would have been onside as well. Rogério just snatches at the opening that came to him on his right foot. I understand that reaction 100% from Manu Polking. Dougal. Zul, Dougal again. Little give and go with Robert Zul. Now Ribardin will chase. Van Hau. Second chance for Dwan Van Hau. He needs to be careful though, because Zul is closing him down. Guides that one out for a throw-in, a goal kick. 39 minutes on the clock. A listless Buriram United 0. Kongan Hanoi from Vietnam 1. Chan Ding Chong finds Adu. Tiditon is there, little dink over the top, but Stojkovic was coming backwards. Quang Hai wins the header, and then a miscommunication. That'll be a yellow card, surely. Gosh, he really is keen to keep his cards in his pocket, the referee. That is very, very cynical from Wanabitha. He's just had a little telling off. Nothing more than that, though, from Koki Nagamine. So long as he remains being relatively lenient for the referee, teams can't complain, but Stefan Mauk comes forward. Just a little bit too much on that from Mauk and Filip Stojkovic once again. Those two having a rare old battle, Stojkovic and Mauk. Still Hanoi lead by that goal from Leo Arta. And in all honesty, they should be more ahead than they are. Rogerio with that big chance. Quang Hai also had a big moment in the first 3 or 4 minutes. Compare that, Kian Bisoli flashed one effort over the bar when perhaps he might have expected to do better. Plenty of thinking for Mark Jackson. Van Hau does well above Bisoli. Trying high into the Isan air. Big Curtis Good. Tiraton. That'll be a corner kick. Cebu 1, Selangor 1, Tampines 1, Pathum United 2. Here Buriram 0, Kongan Hanoi 1. Again, Curtis Good and Ibiza will be 2 big targets. Bisoli lurking around the edge of the 6-yard box. It's a real ruck of players in front of Philip Nyan. Nyan has to come through a crowd and is obstructed in that scenario. That seems to be a tactic more and more, and indeed he was blocked off by both Ibiza and Dougal. All over the top, Leo Arta chasing, Chachai off his line. Tiraton under pressure from Mauk. Spins and finds Curtis Good. Zul. Tiraton. Supernat's made an early run and has been picked out wonderfully. 2 in the penalty area if Supernat can get a cross in. He looks for Bisoli. Van Hau does well, it breaks once again. Bisoli can't get there. Phantom Long comes away with possession, then Quang Hai can't find his man, but terrific pass from Tiraton and lovely break from Supernat. Van Hau does just enough. Keeper stays on his line, and there were 3 blue shirts converging on that. Don't think the keeper had much of an option, but Supernat getting free down that left-hand side. Quang Hai tries to spin the ball in, and that's not the best pass by Stojkovic. Chachai a long way out of his goal. just finds his man. Zul looks for Bisoli, doesn't get him. Van Hou is there. Only finds Zul on the edge of the penalty area. Bisoli! Couldn't keep the shot down, Guillaume Bisoli. Again, unconvincing defending from Hanoi, and Bisoli would have been onside. Imperative to keep the shot on target. But he was trying to hit the top corner. 5 minutes added on at the end of a fascinating first 45 minutes between last season's two Shopee Cup finalists. Curtis Good to Stojkovic. Tidatom again just looks for his man, and it's Robert Zul. Good. Now the English coach, Mark Jackson, looks on thoughtfully. When Chichob was just behind him. No foul against Alam. And the Brazilian strikers stayed down. Kenny Dougal and Buriram, they're going to play on. A little bit of nonsense between Kenny Dougal and Rogerio Alves. The yellow card is going to go for Pham Tam Long for that challenge. That's what started it all. Now the referee's leniency has given the players kind of carte blanche to put in a couple of challenges. Eventually we have a card, Le Pham Tam Long. Here's the man who is in the referee's notebook, and it's another free kick as we are in first half time added on for stoppages. Dougal's ball comfortably cleared by Adu. Zul again. Ball's up high in the air. Tran kept his eye on it. Stojkovic. Montenegrin couldn't quite control. Well, the 12th man, they call them. The supporters trying to rouse their team in these last couple of minutes of the first 48 minutes. 50 will be by the time we reach half-time. Mauk loses out. Supernat. Lovely play from Supernat. Plays the ball into Bisoli. Under real pressure from Tran. Bisoli and Tran continue their little battle. Bisoli's cross. Well, it bounces kindly for Kongan Hanoi. Well, I'm really not sure what kind of an injury kind of just gone on to Le Pham Tam Long. Just picked up a yellow card, a header from his own player into his body. And maybe just soaking up a little bit of time. In the the ASEAN Cup. Buriram, of course, cannot use all of their foreign players, so there's a surfeit of quality not allowed to suit up for today's game. Philip throws the ball. Good is there. Kongan Hanoi will have the lead at half-time. They've also had the better chances. Arguably should be at least 2, maybe 3 goals. At the other end, Hanoi have survived a VAR review of what looked to be a penalty situation, but there's your goal scorer, Leo Arta. Beautifully taken goal, beautifully crafted goal for Guillaume Bissoli. A yellow card for him when he thought he should have been awarded a penalty. Supernat has been probing and has been the best going forward as far as Buriram are concerned. But it's the visitors from Hanoi looking to avenge last season's Shopee Cup final defeat, who lead at half-time at the Thunder Castle. It is in the Shopee Cup. Half-time, Buriram United 0, Kongan Hanoi 1.
สมัครเลย
ช้อปปี้11 ลดใหญ่มาก
ช็อปครบช็อปคุ้มสมัยช็อปครบช็อปคุ้มสมัยครบคุ้มสมัยช็อปดีช็อปดีครบคุ้มสมัยช็อปครบช็อปคุ้มสมัยช็อปครบช็อปคุ้มสมัยครบคุ้มสมัยช็อปดีช็อปดีครบคุ้มสมัยช็อปคุ้มถูกชัวร์สบายทั้งเลยพรุ่งนี้
เริ่มช็อป 10 พฤศจิกายน 2 ทุ่มถึง 15 พฤศจิกายนนี้
สวัสดีค่ะ สวัสดีแฟนบอลทุกท่านนะคะที่อยู่ที่สนามบุรีรัมย์สเตเดียมนะคะแล้วก็ตอนนี้นะคะเป็นยังไงกันบ้างคะเกมในช่วงครึ่งแรกนะคะเรียกได้ว่านะคะก็มันสนุกกันมากๆเลยแต่ว่าตอนนี้ค่ะเรามีกิจกรรมดีๆจากทาง Shopee นะคะเป็นกิจกรรม Shopee Check นะในวันนี้มีใครมีแอป Shopee แล้วบ้างคะไหนปกติใครใช้โอ้โหเดี๋ยว FC ตัวจริงนะคะด้านโน้นมีไหมเอ่ยถ้าจานอื่นๆก็สามารถร่วมกิจกรรมได้นะคะเปิดแอป Shopee มาเลยค่ะตอนนี้เดี๋ยวเราจะมาร่วมสนุกกันนะแจก Shopee คอยนะคะในขอดูหน่อยมีแอป Shopee ไหมคะคอย Shopee คอยคืออะไรนะคะเราจะได้เหรียญนะคะที่ใครวันนี้นะคะชาวบุรีรัมย์ใครเขย่าเยอะที่สุดใครเช็คได้สนุกที่สุดเดี๋ยวจะมีเหรียญนะคะเป็นคอยที่เอาไปใช้เป็นส่วนลดในการช้อปปิ้งนะคะที่ Shopee เช็คที่ Shopee นั่นเองนะคะเดี๋ยวช่วงนี้เป็นกิจกรรมจากทาง Shopee แต่ว่าด้านหน้าจอนะคะ TVC นะอยู่ด้านโน้นนะคะจะมีสำหรับกิจกรรมนะกับ Shopee เช็คนั่นเองนะคะที่เราจะมีเช็คแคมนะคะใครที่มีโทรศัพท์มือถือเปิดแอป Shopee เขย่าแล้วเช็คได้สนุกที่สุดได้มันที่สุดจะมีกล้องนะคะตัวนี้นะคะที่ถ่ายทอดสดนะเป็นเช็คแคมไปด้วยนะคะตอนนี้เดี๋ยวขออนุญาตนะพวกท่านไปชมเกี่ยวกับวิธีการนะคะง่ายๆเกี่ยวกับการเล่นนะ Shopee เช็คกันในตอนนี้นะคะเดี๋ยวเราไปชมด้านบน TVC ได้เลยค่ะ
มาร่วมคว้ารางวัลใหญ่ไปกับ Shopee ในกิจกรรม Half Time Shopee Shake เพียงเปิดแอป Shopee คลิกที่ไอคอน Shopee Price เข้าไปที่ Half Time Shopee Shake กดเริ่มและเขย่าให้แรงที่สุดเท่าที่จะทำได้เพื่อลุ้นรับ Shopee Coin รวมมูลค่ากว่า 1 ล้านบาทอย่ารอช้าดาวน์โหลดแอป Shopee เลย
ครับคุ้มไว้การันตี
ค่ะแล้วก็เป็นวิดีโอสั้นๆนะคะเกี่ยวกับวิธีการเล่นนะคะเดี๋ยวบางท่านอาจจะตามไม่ทันนะคะเดี๋ยวครูกิ๊กขออนุญาตนะพาทุกท่านมาทวนนะวิธีการเล่นง่ายๆเลยอย่างแรกเลยค่ะเปิดแอป Shopee นะคะเห็นไหมเอ่ยเจอแล้วใช่ไหมคะนี่แล้วก็กดเข้าไปตรงกล่องสีน้ำเงินนะคะเป็นกล่องของขวัญนะคะ Shopee Prize นะคะแล้วเราก็กดต่อเลยนะคะกดเข้าไปจะเห็น Half Time Shopee Check นะคะเห็นไหมเอ่ยเห็นไหมคะเลื่อนอีกค่ะตรงนั้นเลยค่ะแล้วก็กดเข้าไปเลยค่ะแต่อย่าเพิ่งกดเริ่มนะคะจะเห็นตรงนี้นะคะเดี๋ยวเราจะมาเค้าดาวน์ร่วมสนุกไปพร้อมๆกันแต่แอบบอกทริคนิดนึงใครเขย่ามือถือได้เยอะที่สุดได้มันที่สุดจะได้เหรียญเยอะมากๆเลยเอาไว้ใช้ช็อปกันนะในเดือนนี้Shopee ฉลองครบรอบ 10 ปีด้วยนะคะก็จะมีโค้ดแจกเยอะมากตอนนี้ท่านพร้อมหรือยังคะเดี๋ยวเราจะเค้าดาวไปพร้อมๆกันด้านบนวิดีโอนะคะกับ VTR ด้านบนนะคะถ้าพร้อมแล้วเดี๋ยวเรามานับเค้าดาวไปพร้อมๆกันค่ะนี่โอ้ยพ้นเลยอันนี้โอ้โหนี่เป็นเช็คแคมนะคะเขย่าเลยโอ้โหนี่ยังเหลือเวลาอยู่นะคะเป็นไงบ้างคะได้อะไรกันบ้างแต่ละท่านได้ไหมคะอินเทอร์เน็ตโอเคไหมคะตอนนี้ได้อะไรบ้างคะอันนี้ไม่มีเข้าไม่ทันก็ทันไม่ได้ แต่ว่าสำหรับวันนี้นะคะก็ยินดีสำหรับท่านที่ได้นะกับ Shopee Coin ของเราด้วยนะคะแต่ว่าหลังจากจบกิจกรรมนี้ไปนะคะเราก็ยังมีกิจกรรมนะคะที่แจกโค้ดนะคะให้สำหรับนะคะแฟนๆนะคะที่ช็อปหรือว่าใช้ Shopee อยู่แล้วนะคะแต่เรายังมีพิเศษไปกว่านั้นนะคะใครอยากได้ลูกบอล Exclusive บ้างคะเป็นฟุตบอลของ Shopee ครับนะคะเราจะแจกเป็นลูกฟุตบอลพร้อมกับลายเซ็นแต่ให้ทุกท่านได้ร่วมสนุกง่ายๆนะคะเข้าแอป Shopee แล้วเซิร์ชหาคำว่า Shopee Cup นะคะเพียงกดเข้าไปกรอกแบบฟอร์มง่ายๆเลยนะว่าทำไมนะลูกบอลลูกนี้ถึงสำคัญกับคุณหรือว่าคุณทำไมถึงอยากได้ลูกฟุตบอลลูกนี้นะคะมาร่วมสนุกกันนะคะว่าใครจะได้ลูกฟุตบอลพร้อมกับลายเซ็นนักเตะนะคะไปร่วมสนุกกันเยอะๆนะคะแต่นอกจากนั้นค่ะอย่างที่กุ๊กกิ๊กได้บอกกันไปปีนี้เป็นปีที่ยิ่งใหญ่มากๆเลยของ Shopee นะคะ Shopee ครบรอบ10 ปีแจกใหญ่แจกจริงถ้าใครเป็นสาย Shopee อยู่แล้วนะจะเห็นว่าตอนนี้นะ Shopee แจกโค้ดลดเยอะมากๆนะคะเราแจกโค้ดให้ทุกท่านที่มีแอป Shopee แล้วก็แจกทุกเที่ยงวันนะคะทุกเที่ยงวันนะตอนเที่ยงเราจะแจกโค้ดนะคะตั้งแต่วันที่ 1ถึงวันที่ 15 ธันวาคมนี้นะคะใครที่ใช้ Shopee อยู่แล้วหรือใครที่ยังไม่มีแอป Shopee โหลดเลยตอนนี้นะคะไปรับโค้ดทุกเที่ยงตรงได้เลยนะแต่ว่ายังไม่พอนะคะสำคัญที่สุดเลยตั้งแต่วันที่ 12 ถึง 15 ธันวาคมนี้เราจะแจกรถมอเตอร์ไซค์กันด้วยนะคะใครกำลังอยากได้รถคันใหม่หรือใครอยากจะเป็นผู้โชคดีห้ามพลาดสำหรับโอกาสทองนี้นะคะสำหรับนะคะวันที่ 12 นี้นะใครรออยู่บ้างนะคะวันเดียวเท่านั้นนะคะง่ายๆลุ้นบินฟรีตั้งแต่ออเดอร์แรก Shopee ใจดีนะแจกตั๋วเครื่องบินไปเที่ยวญี่ปุ่นฟรีนะคะอาจจะเป็นแฟนบอลของบุรีรัมย์ยูไนเต็ดก็ได้เช่นเดียวกันนะคะกติกาง่ายๆเลยนะคะเพียงคุณไปช็อปสินค้าในวันที่ 12 นี้นะคะขั้นต่ำ1 บาทก็ได้รับไปเลย1 สิทธิ์ลุ้นรางวัลนะคะแต่ว่าถ้าท่านใดที่ช็อปเยอะนะคะก็ช็อปครบทุกๆ500 บาทก็จะได้สิทธิ์ที่ลุ้นเพิ่มมากยิ่งขึ้นนะคะยิ่งช็อปเยอะยิ่งมีสิทธิ์เยอะนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นอยากให้แฟนบอลทุกท่านนะเตรียมตัวให้พร้อมช็อปให้คุ้มและอย่าลืมมาร่วมฉลองวันเกิด10 ปีไปกับ Shopee กันนะคะโค้ดพร้อมของรางวัลพร้อมวันที่ 1 ถึง 15 ธันวาคมนี้นะคะขอบคุณค่ะ
Making mama so proud, but your voice is too loud. You were a child, crawling on your knees, toilet. Making mama so proud, but your voice is too loud. We like to watch you laugh. Insects all players. No time to think of consequences.
You big disgrace, kicking your can all over the place, singing.
A very warm welcome back to the Thunder Castle. You are watching the Shopee Cup, the ASEAN Club Championship, a group match between the defending champions Buriram United in blue and the team they beat in last season's final, Công and Hanoi from Vietnam. It's the visitors who deservedly lead by a 0-0 at half-time. The only goal coming in the 10th minute through Leo Arto. Guillaume Bissoli had what he thought was a good claim for a penalty, turned down by both referee and VAR. And Chachai Putprom, the 38-year-old veteran goalkeeper, by far the busier of the two keepers, but no chance with the lovely ball just slotted past him by Leo Arta that gives the Vietnamese team the lead. The one problem for the visitors and their coach Manu Polking is an injury to defensive linchpin Hugo Gomez. He was replaced by Vietnamese international Tran Dinh Trong. Quang Hai has been prompting and probing from the heart of midfield. ASEAN Club Championship, Shopee Cup 2025, second half underway. Buriram 0, Công and Hanoi from Vietnam 1. And a deserved lead, it must be said, at half-time. This has been a less than stellar defence of their title for Buriram United. 2 draws in their 2 matches so far, and now trailing at home. In other games going on, I can tell you Tampines Rovers has come from 2-0 down against against BG Pathum United. Tampines 2, Pathum United 2. And Cebu versus Selangor has finished 1 apiece. Tampines game well into the second half here. Well, Chachai is looking for options ahead, and there wasn't an awful lot. He finds Wanabitha, the Spaniard. A recent signing drives forward, looks for Guillaume Bissoli, but too much on that from the Spaniard signed from the Polish top flight, Witzew Lutz. Van Hau, great addition to this Công and Hanoi rearguard. Van Hau, he's been injured for most of the season, makes his first appearance as Ruggiero goes down under pressure from Narubadin. Robert Zull doesn't show a lot of sympathy. I don't think it's Narubadin that catches him. I think it's Zull just when he comes in. Yeah, his studs just land on the leg of Rogério Alves. Zul and Mauk. There's a healthy crowd once again, but they're a little bit frustrated by what they've seen, not so much from the visitors but from their own team. These aren't the standards to which Buriram United are used to setting. They've only lost once in the league, a remarkable 4-2 defeat against Chonburi. And Chonburi were down to 10 men. And VAR are having a look at this to see if this is reckless or foul play that endangers an opponent from Robert Zull. He doesn't make a direct movement, and it just looks like he's standing down, but it has caused a problem for Rogério. Stefan Mauk having his say. Peter Zull also having his say. VAR continue to look, and he's been asked to go over to judge for himself whether or not this is an instant that will endanger an opponent. Is it reckless? invariably when somebody is called over to the VAR screen, it doesn't bode well for the defensive team. There it was. Comes in late. China's Jin Jingguan and Korea Lee Seol-ji are in the VAR room. What looked very innocuous at the time looks less and less innocuous the more it's shown.
Right? Or virus contact, okay? Okay, my final decision 32 commits the virus contact to opponents. So final decision is red card 32, okay? It's so clear, that is
This sounds ominous for Buriram.
Okay.
This sounds ominous for Buriram United indeed. Referee Nagamine goes over. And it is indeed a straight red card. Deemed to be a stamp by Robert Zull. And he's trying to explain that the ball is there. It was a straightforward step down. And on first glance, that's what I thought. But as the replays came on, it looked less and less innocuous. And so Buriram United trail by a goal, and they'll have to compete for the remaining 40 minutes plus. A man down, a straight red card to Robert Zull. Well, the sympathetic applause. And he's still trying to explain to the fourth official. But the decision has been made, and there was, as you're going to hear, there was plenty of communication between the VAR officials. Now Mark Jackson has some work to do. He had some work to do beforehand. Now especially so. The one thing you know about Buriram, they do have a remarkable spirit. Thumping challenge coming in from Curtis Good. Kwong Hai nearly cut in two, but it was perfectly legitimate. Kwong Hai's barely two-thirds the size of Curtis Good anyway. Good again. Header won by Stojkovic. Bisoli chases. Tran is there. Zull loses out. That's Peter Zull. Tiratom. Well, what do Hanoi do here? Bisoli. Chance, Bisoli. Bisoli through on goal. Philip Nyan just showing enough for the ball. That's a good save, but Bisoli will really believe he should have scored there. A man with his predatory instincts, that's two big chances the Brazilians had. Meantime, Kwong Hai down the line. Ibiza falls over under pressure from Lavando. So the ball is played in. Little flick on, he was onside. His first touch just a little bit heavy, and that allows Nyan to plunge at his feet and make a good save by the Czech-born goalkeeper. Good goalkeeping coming at the other end. Rogerio onto Leo. Peter Zull is there. Buriram yet to lose in the Shopee Cup this year, but also yet to win. They drew here against Selangor. A 95th minute equaliser from Peter Zull. they were held in Bangkok against Pathum United, 2 apiece. Here, they are going to have to show remarkable resilience. Alam, under pressure. Tiraton does well. Supernat, little give and go, too much on that front Supernat. Nice attempt at football. Breaks to the Wabitha. Tiraton, nice. Zul. Through the legs from Supernat, but Supernat can't get the better of Adu. That just runs away from Leoata. But he does look dangerous, Leoata, when he's got a chance just to come inside. He's not an out-and-out winger, but he floats out to that left-hand side. Curtis Good. Stojkovic under pressure from Van Doe. Van Doe, too much pressure onto Stojkovic. I know he lost in Bangkok against Pathum United when they had a man advantage. 2 wonderful goals by Chanatip Songkrasin. Zul, Bisoli. Bisoli for Zul, and Zul denied once again by Philip Nyan. Terrific run in by Peter Zul. Little give and go with Guillaume Bisoli, and he's got the strength. Just tries to flick it away from Philip Nyan, and then it breaks back to Nyan, not once but twice. Coming the other way, Good loses out. Quang Hai into Leo. Still Leo. And then a foul by Leoata, actually China, Rogerio Alves. Quang Hai, lovely little ball through to Alves. And then Alves, just a little bit too much pressure there on Kenny Doodle. And the Aussie goes down. And substitutions, a double change now being made by Mark Jackson. Ibiza goes out to be replaced by Sazalak, and Pitiwa comes in to replace Stojkovic. It looks like they're going to a back 4. Two of their tried and trusted Thai regulars been given a chance to try to just give them an opportunity to stay really in this competition. If they were to lose here, that's 3 games without a win. Results elsewhere going against them. Tran out wide to Van Hau, Mauk. And this is clever from the Vietnamese. Keep hold of the ball. 5, 10, 15 passes. Make Buriram chase the ball. Don't give away cheap possession like that. Rogerio couldn't keep that in play. Dougal and Good now joint centre-backs with Narubardin and Sazlak the full-backs. Chachai. Nervy moment for Chachai Boutron, who was out at half-time practicing his kicking. Zul over the top, looks for Supernat. Bisoli can't get there. Narubardin has to chase back. Rogerio. Caught by Dougal. Well, he might get a card himself for asking for a card on Kenny Dougal. Leo Arter. Again, an abundance of riches in the stands for Buriram. Only allowed the 7 foreign-born players in this ASEAN Cup. One of those has been red-carded. Quang Hai helps it over the top. That's easy for Zul. Breaks to Quang Hai once again. Neat and tidy, edge of the penalty area. Quang Hai into Mauk. Looks wide, finds Leo Arter. Faced by Pitiwat. Pitiwat does an excellent job just shielding his man. Crowd really getting on the back of the Vietnamese and trying to urge Buriram forward. Very rare to see Buriram in this kind of, in inverted commas, crisis. Tan Long's long ball runs through to Chachai. He's looking up with a man short. Oh, needs to be careful on the 8 seconds. Mauk. Again, this is good use of the extra man by Kongan Hanoi. Van Do. Adu and Van Do. Bit of space there for Stefan Mauk. He'll just put his foot on it, slow things down. And Tran, who was a real star name at the Under-17 World Cup when he first broke into the sport. Here is Quang Hai though. Break is on for the Vietnamese. Stefan Mauk, edge of the box. Mauk looks inside. Rogerio! Top save. Chachai keeps Buriram in this cup tie. Mauk picked out his slot. Rogerio, that's destined for the side netting. Oh, it's an excellent fingertip by Chachai. Oh, how he'd love to orchestrate a win here in Buriram. Quang Hai goes near post, Dougal is there. Quang Hai comes back from an offside position. And a change coming the way. Jason Pendant, French-born, natural left-sided player, comes on for Rogerio Alves. I can tell you, Tampines Rovers have come back from 2-0 down to beat Pathum United by 3-2. Pendant comes on, scored the winning goal against Cebu. Pendant Quang Vinh Give him his Vietnamese moniker. His Sazalak, very much a Thai moniker. Alan, forced a bit wide, Alan. Gets the shot away, comfortable for Chatchai. But the shots are racking up for the visitors. Sazalak. Tidatom. So many familiar names through the years for Buriram United. So many campaigns on the Asian Champions League and last season on the ASEAN. And domestically so strong as well. And for Thailand, Sazalak and Pitiwat and Tidatom. Supanat recently joining them. They need these players to perform. Supanat just blocked off. And then Pitiwat can't get the better of Vanto. Quang Hai eased off the ball by Sazalak. Well done, Pitiwat inside. Zul was looking for Supanat. It's a 4-3-2 that is being employed by Mark Jackson since the red card. Leaves them vulnerable, leaves space out wide here. Alan Grafice couldn't look out wide, and there was a chance. Free kick won by Pitiwat. Peter Zul. Dougal. Narubardin. So final scores: Cebu 1, Selangor 1, Tampines 3, Pathum United 2. It's all in this group in the Shopee Cup. Group matches tomorrow in Bangkok. Bangkok United versus Lion City Sailors. Well, that's legs being wrapped around by Van Hau. Bisoli, little can give and go, looks for Supanat. Buriram with nearly 60% of the ball. Here's Supanat once again. Guillaume Bisoli, Supanat. Can't get the shot away. Looks for Sazalak. And Stefan Mauk is there just to block him off. Well kept in by Lafam Tan Long, or not as the case may be. But I think they've come back anyway for a free kick. Standings as they are, that's a yellow card for Sazalak for a late challenge. Standings as they are in Group A. Tampines played 3, 6 points. As we have a look at that, Sazalak just coming in on the back of his man, Quang Hai. As it stands, Hanoi will be second on 6 points if they carry on to get the win. Selangor third on 5 points. Pathum United 4 points from their 3 games. Buriram 2 points. So maybe the results aren't going against them. Buriram's next game against Tampines, as we have a look at the only goal of the game. Leo Arta, little give and go with Stefan Mauk and a lovely little pass finish off the post. That came in the 10th minute. Since then, there's been plenty of other incidents. Hugo Gomez taken off injured. A red card for Robert Zul. The crowd getting more and more frustrated with what they see as a play acting by Kongan Hanoi, but I haven't seen it like that. And that little knot of 20 fans, well, I know a few of them have come from Bangkok. 3 or 4 have actually come down from Hanoi. Goes all the way through to Chachai. Just beyond the midway point of this second half. There will be a lot of time to add on because the red card decision took an age. Sazalak. Zul loses out. Tiditon tries to take it on. It breaks the Stefan Mauk. Nicely played. Pendant. Tries to follow through. And it's Alan! Again, he's only got eyes for goal, has Alan Grafische. Had a decent save, Chachai. A couple of nervy moments with the ball at his feet, but his handling's been good. His shot stopping has been secure. Matches in the Shopee Cup tomorrow in Group B. Sveiryang versus Johor. Shan United versus Namdin. Bangkok United versus Lion City Sailors. It's going to be a talking to at least, I think, for Lengli Abu. Not even a talking to. Here by Pantan Long. Mauk. Not quite what he meant. Pantan Long has another spectacular clearance, urges his team forward. Kenny Dougal just tries to take his time, tries to set a play up. Good onto Tiditon. And the left-back role that he made his name. Tries to play the ball into space down the line. Jackson on the touchline. Quick to get things up and running once again. Zul and Mauk. Peter Zul cannot believe he's not been given a foul. And look at the break he's on. Pendant. Oh, he claims he was brought down. That's another one the VAR will have a look at. Pity Watt spreads it out wide to Peter Zul. Zul looks to Bisoli. Tran gets in there first. Another long ball. Leo Arta chases. What a fascinating battle. Manu Polking is protesting. He wants VAR to have a look at that instant, but you've got to wait to think until the ball's gone out of play. Sazalak. Tiditon. On to Supanat. Supanat. Pulled it back, but Tran is there. Mauk. Under pressure from Sazalak, who's on a yellow card, needs to be careful. And now they're appealing. Look at Polking. He's saying VAR's got to have a look at that penalty incident. Instead, there's going to be a substitution being made. Tiditon to be replaced. And Patompon, a winger, to come on. He's almost playing 3-4-2. Here's Mark Jackson as we come into the final 16 minutes or so. Patompon. Another of the many changes from the super successful side. They won 4 trophies last year for Buriram. Can't say Patong Pom weakens things, but it is a change. Supernat looks for Patong Pom. Supernat again. There is Patong Pom. Zul. Was too eager to get power in the shot. And the Austrian knows more than anybody that not too many chances will come their way. Breaks to him nicely. 25 metres or so out, but never threatening Philip Nyun's goal. Buriram United, you can do it, it says in the far corner. A yellow card for delaying the game. So he delays the game again. Philip Nyun it was. Mauk. Van Hau. Just clipped by Patong Pom. He had a certain amount of pace down the right-hand side. Bisoli through the middle. Supernat down the left. Zul breaking from midfield. That's kind of the tactic you can see. Sounds like a narrow Bardin to try and offer a little bit of width. Supernat. What Hanoi cannot do is give the ball away cheaply, but they've won it back. And this is Alan. Leo Arter. It's a little bit predictable how often he cuts inside. Sazalak. Still Sazalak onto Supernat. Supernat into Guillaume Bisoli. Bisoli loses out to Chan and Van Hau. As the attendance of 14,850 is announced. The break is on. Quang Hai. Chance to play in. Alam. Kenny Dougal gets back just in time. And the pass from Quang Hai was just behind Alam. Patong Pom. Onto Kitiwat. Expecting a chunk of time to be added on at the end of this, maybe 6, possibly even more minutes. There was a long VAR check plus all the substitutions. So we've possibly got as many as 20 minutes left as Zul goes in, a little bit late. Supernat aggressively onto Lepantan Long. Again, a galaxy of stars look on. Goran Korzic looks on. Alan. There is a never-present danger from Alan and Leo and Quang Hai going forward. Narubardin. Pitiwat. Breaks away from his man, but they do have that extra body, so they've got that little bit of insurance defensively, do Hanoi. Mauk with the challenge on the back of Patong Pom. Free kick. Buriram go to Tampines at the end of January. Lose here and that Tampines game really is must win. Brando just manages to escape. Adu. Brando. Narubardin was back. Chachai and Dougal and Narubardin. A little triangle. It is all very pretty. It slows things down. Kenny Dougal does like to try to control the pace of the game. Zul. Good. Allowed to drive forward. Sazalak. Well, Sazalak is on a yellow card and he's just pushed Van Doe away. Van Doe kicked the ball into Sazalak, but the ball was in play. He had every right to do so. Well, the ball is in play and he's bounced it off him. The re-emergence of Gang Hanoi has made Hanoi football and Vietnamese football even more competitive. Pendant onto Leo, whose goal still separates us. Leo Arta. Played in by Ler and good clears. Bisoli. He's had two big chances, Guillaume Bisoli. Oh, that's a lovely cross, I tell you what. Well, Alan is saying put it in the air, but that has got every right to expect the centre forward to attack that one. Here's Patompom, tracked by Pantam Long. Zul runs out of space, and Van Houw got away with what this correspondent thought was a clear pull in the penalty area in the first half. VAR had a look at it, decided there wasn't enough to give a penalty. Buriram been on the wrong side of two VAR decisions. Pitiwa. Lovely ball. Narubardin. 3 in the penalty area for Narubardin. Comes behind everybody. Mauk just help it forward. Good, strong. And then the break is on. And we've got a 2-on-1 here. This can be played right. Van Houw beaten to it by Kenny Dougal. And Dougal dinks over the top, finds Supernap. Bisoli and Dougal in the penalty area. Supernap likes the cut inside. And that'll break off Stefan Mauk comfortably for Philippe Nyam. And a little bit of cramp in inverted commas for Legliadou. They do need to be careful, Hanoi, that they don't force the referee to think there's 6 or 7 minutes to add on here. Ooh, wow. Ooh, wow. That's interesting. That is interesting. Stefan Mauk definitely moves an arm towards that. Oh, VAR going to look at this. Oh, my word. Well, if the first one not given in the first half was a contentious denial of a penalty, oh, VAR looking at this. There was also an incident for VAR at the other end. It wasn't looked at when Hanoi thought that they had a penalty shout. Look at that, Hanoi, 10 attempts on goal with just 40% of the ball. Well, the match director keeps going back to referee Koki Nagamine. Right, now he is being spoken to. He is being spoken to, and this is... There's only one verdict if this is about the Stefan Mauk moment. In the meantime, Hanoi looking to make a couple of changes. Thong Van Ton is one player ready to come on. Is it cramp or is it something serious for Legliadou? And Jap Chuan Dong, the second change. Well, it has been a frustrating night for the 14,000 plus. Yeah, we are. This is about that incident with Stefan Mauk. I can only think that that's what it is. And if he is called over to the monitor once again, at the time, nothing was said. It looked like it was just a ball that came behind the Buriram defense, the Buriram attack. Narubardin played the ball in. And I think he knows. He knows. And this is all adding to the time that will be added on at the end of the 90 minutes. Yeah, he's going to be asked to come over, and this is going to be a penalty. When he sees the video, there is only one conclusion that can come from this. So that's that penalty. What Manu Polking is saying is that there wasn't a VAR check on what he thought was an incident at the other end. That arm has moved to the ball.
Don't do this to me again. You are doing this to me again. Disaster. He has an Yes.
So you can hear the discussions ongoing, and you can hear Manu Polking. Well, if this does go against the Vietnamese team, that's going to be a fiery post-match interview. On that evidence, there only is one decision to make. Narubardin's ball in. Oh, coming back. I don't think referee Koki Nagamine is going to be on the greetings cards list of Manu Polking. So many reviews. Now we're in the wrong piece of play. Here we are. Was he offside? Is that number one? Is he offside? No, he's not offside. If they're going back to checking if he's offside, that suggests that the penalty decision is looming. Penalty. As soon as he was brought over, even though it took forever and a day. Stefan Mauk, he does move his hand towards the ball. Harsh, unfair. Oh, and then Harupan's asking for a card. Ah, dear. Well, I think on that one, VAR has got it correct. But there are three highly subjective, contentious decisions, all on VAR. And the fourth official is getting involved as well. I'm pretty sure the coach has just gone over the top. He gets a red card. Is it one of the assistants? It's not Polking. It's one of his assistants. And a yellow card to Stefan Mauk as well. Well, amidst all of this, a good 6 minutes has passed. We're going to be adding at least another 10, maybe more on. And Guillaume Bissoli has a chance to score his second goal in the Shopee Cup. Philippe Niam. Knows what it's like to face penalties at Buriram. Bissoli for the 10 men. 11 minutes are going to be added on. That's the next bit of news. So VAR with a big involvement here, and Guillaume Bissoli with a chance to equalise for Buriram United. The Brazilian goes to the goalkeeper's left and scores his 16th goal in all competitions this season in 19 games. It took an age for the penalty to come, but when it did, Bissoli was positivity. Philippe Nian tries to play some mind games. Bissoli calls his bluff, goes to the narrow side, and Buriram United, aided by Stefan Mauk's errant elbow, managed to pull another one out of the fire. It's still though 11 versus 10 as Bissoli gets the equaliser. Hanoi have the advantage. They surely can't lose another game in Thailand against 10 men. It was the brilliance of Chanatip last time. Yeah, Polking will feel very hard done by VAR, but that one was correct, absolutely, that one was correct. Trans header. Won by Zul. Supernat. He was trying to play in Katompom. Well, there's always a story when you come to Buriram, always a story. Zul's header, Van Hau clears. That's a push. In fact, that is the dictionary definition of a push by Supernat, who's dropped into a more central midfield role. Philippe Nian, safety first. Would you believe it, the 10 men have got the bit between their teeth. And it will break to Zazalak, who's being caught. Van Do. It's a coming together, it's a collision, nothing more. It's an awkward one, it's two committed players. And Van Do will pick up a yellow card. The Vietnamese international. Zazalak didn't pull out. It just drops between the two, and it's unfortunate. He's going for the ball, but then that foot is incredibly high. Now VAR may well be coming into this as well. Zul was on a red card for, it seemed to be an accidental stamp. VAR may be looking at that as well. Off the ball, Van Gaal was involved in an incident with Kenny Dougal. King is still incandescent about the elbow that produced the penalty. And this is a match that could go on for an awful lot longer. Sounds like I think we'll be okay. Well, Van Gaal has gone down under no pressure whatsoever. Kenny Dougal has gone over to actually remonstrate with the Vietnamese, who sadly has been involved in one or two incidents over the years. There's Peter Zul, who perhaps walked aggressively towards him. No more. Van Gaal on his return from injury, and well, this is where I suppose you're lucky the VAR is in the house and you've got all these spare cameras. Sazalak winded. Van Doe, he picked up a yellow card there. Van Gaal's miraculous recovery from a mosquito going somewhere close to him. And we've got a free kick where 6 minutes into time added on. This is going on to 110, 105 minutes at least. Right then, Supernat. The 10 men of Buriram chasing an unlikely victory. Supernat's ball in. Well defended. And the break is on now for Quang Hai, who doesn't quite have the pace he once had. And Supernat is able to get the better of the 28-year-old. Chai's long ball. Zul the target. It's a break for Philippa Nguyen. Buriram United 1, Kongan Hanoi 1. It's not been one for the purists, must be said. An early goal, expertly converted by Leo Arta. And then VAR controversy on 3 occasions, a penalty not given. Another penalty not looked at. Red card given, and a penalty for Buriram awarded. As Good gets the header in, finds Peter Zul. Pendant is there. Leo. Antam Long. Sounds like good positioning. Supernat over the top. Tran is there. Van Doe. Hanoi chasing a victory. They've already suffered at this venue. Leo Arta, brilliant sliding challenge by Narubardin. And then that's just a little bit behind Patompom. Chachai dinks it into the centre midfield, cleverly played. Supernat, nice football. Pitiwat comes out to Bisoli, and that's belted out. Rosette will do fine, it's a throw-in. Jap Chuan Diong with that clearance. Patompon again, on to Sazalak. Dougal. Lovely, ooh, nice idea. Bisoli can't get there, but Zul might. It breaks through to Peter Zul! Goes down under a challenge. No penalty given. Narubardin, corner. Zul wants a penalty. Drives into the area. Ian Kenny Dougal. Well, he's got a touch there on the ball, as Pendant. Philip Nyang goes down. His tackle was an important one. Well, what a trial this has been for Koki Nagamine. Two highly sophisticated clubs. He made the decision early on to be very lenient in his decisions. Let's have a look at Zul. There's a touch there from Pendant, gets the ball absolutely cleanly. And then, if anything, there's a foul by Dougal on Philip Nyan. Love it or hate it, VAR is very much a part of it's termed elite football these days. Sazalak to curl this corner in. There's pressure on Philip Nyan. 3 inside the 6-yard box. Dougal and Zul are in there. Supernat! That was so near to being a wonder winner. There's always a story with Buriram. There's always a story between these two clubs. Peter Zul is there, that's a foul. And a yellow card eventually for Peter Zul and for Van Houw. Well, that's been just waiting to arrive. It's not a great challenge by Peter Zul. Stefan Mauk goes down, and then Van Houw remonstrates, and well, remonstrating. I'm not really sure why he got the yellow card, but many yellows. It was all with the yellow. As Buriram, have they rescued another late point? Keeps them in the reckoning, but it means they need to win in Tampines. Or can they win it here? Patompon couldn't get there. Pendant loses out. Phantom Long. Well, the 11 minutes is all that's been allowed. Maybe more should have been allowed, but Manu Polking once again is remonstrating with the officials. Mark Jackson is looking a little bit perplexed as well. But it's honours shared between these two teams who provide such rich and controversial entertainment. So many talking points. That press conference is going to be worth it. Guillaume Bisoli with a late penalty equaliser after an early goal from Leoata had put Kongan Hanoi into a strong position. But even when Buriram were reduced to 10 men, they kept on coming forward. And in many ways they improved after they were reduced to 10 men. But it's another in the lexicon in this contest between these teams. And it's finished in this Group A Shopee Cup clash. Buriram United 1, Kongan Hanoi 1.
chúc mừng Trọng.
And how do you feel about performance of your team?
Trọng nghĩ thế nào về màn trình diễn của mình ngày hôm nay?
Đối với màn trình diễn của Trọng thì Trọng nghĩ là đánh giá ở mức tròn vai và tốt, là được đóng góp vào cái lối chơi chung của toàn đội.
I think I did my role today. Let's just put it that way. I think I did my role today, and I'm glad to contribute to the all team performance. So, for the fan, Trọng có lời nào gửi đến tất cả các cổ động viên của Công an Hà Nội không ạ?
Đầu tiên thì tất cả các cổ động viên đã cất công để sang bên Thái Lan cổ vũ toàn đội, thì đó là một cái động lực rất là lớn để cho toàn đội có một cái trận đấu rất là quả cảm như ngày hôm nay.
Thanks to I will give my appreciation to all the fans because of their effort to travel of such a long way, which contribute to our all team performance. Thank you.
พูดถึงเกมในวันนี้นะคะ
ครับก็เป็นเกมที่ก็สนุกกันทั้งสองทีมครับก็เราอาจจะมีช่วงนี้ในเวลาที่ผิดพลาดไปแต่ว่าเราก็ยังกลับมาได้แม้ว่าเราจะเหลือ10 คนอะไรเงี้ย
พูดถึงจุดเปลี่ยนตอนที่เหลือ10 คน
ครับก็ผมก็ไม่ได้เห็นเหตุการณ์จริงจังอะไรขนาดนั้นครับก็ผมก็คิดว่าเป็นจังหวะที่อาจจะไม่ได้ตั้งใจแต่ว่าก็เรายินดีที่เรากลับมาสู่เกมได้ในวันนี้ครับ
ช่วงพักกลับมาโค้ชได้เน้นกำชับคุณครับ
แน่นอนครับก็โค้ชก็ได้เน้นย้ำว่าเราจะไม่ยอมแพ้ครับแล้วเราก็จะกลับมาได้ก็วันนี้ถึงจะไม่สามารถเก็บ3 แต้มได้แต่อย่างน้อยเราก็ยังมี1 แต้มแล้วก็เพื่อลุ้นเข้ารอบต่อไปใน2 เกมที่เหลือครับครับก็ฝากถึงแฟนบอลบุรีรัมย์นะครับแล้วก็แฟนบอลชาวไทยครับก็ฝากติดตามแล้วก็เชียร์บุรีรัมย์ต่อไปด้วยครับก็แน่นอนเราเป็นแชมป์เก่าเราจะเข้ารอบไปต่อให้ได้ครับขอบคุณครับ
Talking about overall format tonight.
Hai nghĩ đánh giá thế nào về trận đấu của ngày hôm nay?
Tôi nghĩ đây là một trận đấu tốt của Công Hà Nội và tôi nghĩ rằng là đây có một chút tiếc nuối. Tôi nghĩ là Công Hà Nội xứng đáng với 3 điểm ở trận đấu này.
I think Công an Hà Nội team played very well today. It's such a shame that we come a little bit short to the victory today.
And did Buriram performance make to game difficult?
Which player? Quang Hải nghĩ cầu thủ nào ghi lại có nhiều khó khăn nhất cho câu lạc bộ Công an Hà Nội ngày hôm nay?
Với đội bạn. Hai nghĩ rằng Buriram là một đối thủ mà có các cầu thủ đều chất lượng cả và Hải nghĩ rằng tất cả các cầu thủ đều có một cái chất lượng đội hình và chiều sâu đội hình tốt. Toàn đội Hải nghĩ là tất cả mọi thứ thì Công an Hà Nội luôn luôn phải chuẩn bị tất cả các phương án từ phía mình.
I think Buriram play very well as a whole team. They have very good quality players as the whole team. So I think all of them a little bit of problems for Công an Hà Nội, but for our team, we have to play much more appreciation and focus on their strategy.
And some message for the fans.
Lời nào muốn gửi đến người hâm mộ?
Tất nhiên rồi, Hải muốn gửi lời cảm ơn tới những cổ động viên đã đến sân và các cổ động viên của Công an Hà Nội đã luôn theo dõi và ủng hộ đội bóng và tất nhiên là đấy sẽ là cái nguồn động lực to lớn để toàn đội tiếp tục cố gắng nỗ lực trong những trận đấu tiếp theo.
I'll give my appreciation to the fans come all the way from Vietnam to Thailand and for everybody watching at home. That's a very good motivation for us to keep going.
Thank you.
Get to me, man. This is.